would like to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m., April 21st, 2013. This is, yeah, you're right, 2023. I went back in time. Let's see, at the Carl Richter campus. All right. Could we do a stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and a roll call. Could someone else do that for me?
I can do that. Joe Hudson?
Here.
Donna McBride? Here. Kathleen Martin? Here. Courtney?
Here?
Coster? Patrick? Gone.
And David, we have a couple amendments to our agenda, adding David Lontine as the newest board member. And obviously, Patrick Feeney is not here tonight, so.
Mr. Feeney had sent me a message about 20 minutes ago that said he would not be at the meeting. There was no reason given, and I called to follow up on that and asked Mr. Feeney his status and asked if he was planning on resigning, and he said no.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I should
you
vote to
wanna-
excuse him with an electronic, small electronic message. But that is the message that I received.
I mean, I know that, Mr. Lontine definitely had prior, what did you say?
Commitments.
Commitment,
Yeah.
okay.
I make a
So-
motion to excuse him tonight because
Dave Montine.
he
Right.
didn't have enough time to change his schedule.
Okay.
Just for a point of interest, he, at Wednesday's Township Board meeting, they accepted him as our choice for a replacement,
The first vacated.
first vacated seat, so. And he was sworn in by Karen Winchester yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Does anyone have a second for that?
Support.
Good. Okay, so Joe and then you and then Joe.
All right.
Am I
Excuse
keeping
Mr.
minutes?
Montine. Oh, I don't know. I thought so. No, you're doing roll call. No?
Oh.
Okay.
Should we do a voice vote or a roll call for that guy?
Just a voice.
Just a
voice,
voice.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. There are a few amendments besides that, to our agenda. So we want to add David Lontine as the newest board member. We also need to add the first public comment after roll call. And I think that is it.
I also wanted to add an amendment to discuss, during
Oh,
the
that's
for
right.
purpose of meeting, discuss the rate of the program director, if there is any discussion among the board.
All right. Like to entertain a motion to add those things to the agenda?
Yes, please, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amended agenda stating that there will be discussion about number 4 and then also an added public comment. Were those the only 2 amendments?
And to add David Lontine as the newest board
Right,
member,
and
because he's,
add-
yeah.
And recognize David
Right.
Lontine as the newest board member, so that's the motion.
I second.
All right.
We voice vote?
I think maybe a roll call for that one.
Okay.
Joe?
Yes.
Me? Yes. Kathleen?
Yeah.
Courtney?
Yes. All right. And so we are on to approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with all of the,
I thought that's what I just did, no?
Well,
That
yeah.
was to amend it. I don't, I,
With all the amendments.
this is not my normal job. All right,
I'll second.
so McBride, Martin. All right, and a roll call or voice vote.
Okay. Joe Hutchins,
Yes.
approve the agenda. Courtney,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Kathleen, yes. So that motion.
Alrighty. All right, so I guess we're on to new business. Motion to remove current co-chairperson from
Is there-
duty. Oh,
Sorry to interrupt,
that's all right.
Ms. White, but is there a public comment first?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. That was the other thing.
That's
It's
okay.
not on the
I wanna make
list.
sure that we're-
All right, I want to open it up for public comment. Members of the public can address the board once recognized by the chairperson. For items on the agenda only, comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. The board may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. Prior to addressing the board, members of the public shall clearly state their name and address for the record.
Go ahead, please.
Come on.
Jim Clark, 314 Hadley Street. My comments all regard Mr. Feeney, who I do not know personally. I have seen him verbally abuse women. I was here Monday and heard him lie about touching April at one of those encounters. And I've seen what happened after his last encounter last Saturday, where one woman was visibly shaking an hour afterwards. Mr. Feeney does not have the self-control to represent this community. If he chooses to stay on this board, he is skewing the whole focus to his failings, not the business of this board. And for whatever it's worth, if a recall were to run full course, it would cost the Park Commission $8,000 to $10,000. Thank you. He should resign.
Thank you.
Next.
Angela Wallace, 709 Baird Street. I would like to begin by thanking Ms. Coster, Mr. Joe Hutchins, Ms. Kathleen Martin, and Ms. Donna McBride for their sincere apologies regarding Mr. Feeney's behavior. It is from a truly grateful heart. I acknowledge your apologies, and I accept them. You have made a clear stand, and the public hears your words and your intentions clearly. So again, thank you. When Mr. Feeney gets the minutes of this, he can read them or he will hear this on YouTube. So, Mr. Feeney, you have made a clear statement this week also. Your words to your constituents are telling. The good riddance that you wished the women that you hurt and the words that you called them, you called those calling for your resignation were pigs and assholes. Those words were caught on a hot mic and on the video. They were spoken during the Township Parks meeting. That shows the clear disrespect that you, Mr. Feeney, have towards those who represent you, that you represent. As of 5:50 tonight, that video has been viewed over 1,000 times. The average viewing audience of your parks meetings is 35. So the people of this township are disgusted and ashamed that a person that they trusted has broken their trust and has so egregiously represented them. Mr. Feeney, you told the people that called for your resignation that we would get our wish. When do you plan on granting that promise? We want to know. If you don't resign, the recall verbiage is being drafted and it will be delivered to Oakland County offices next week. This recall will cost between $8,000 and $10,000 and will be billed directly to Holly Township and forwarded to the Parks Board, and it will come directly out of your Parks budget. We don't want to cost this Parks Board or our township that money, but make no mistake, we will for the health and safety of all of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Just my voice doesn't want to talk today.
Kristen Watt, 102 South First Street, number 3. I really just wanted to take a moment to thank the 4 of you because I know that Monday night's meeting was unpleasant but necessary, at least for the issue that we were bringing. I know there were other issues. I know that your board is not full. I know it is fractured. And I think I don't remember if it was Donna or Kathleen that reached. First of all, Joe, I know you don't have a computer, social media, things like that. All 3 of these board members reached out to me. I know if you had that, you probably would have too, and I appreciate you. And that matters because I know how deeply heavy this room was on Monday night. How could it not have affected every person in here? But I want to thank you, and I'm sorry y'all had to sit through that. But any other board in town will know you're a cohesive board. You're not individuals in this way, and you got to take the good with the bad. So I do appreciate your sentiments, your comments, and the outreach that you've given to numerous people in this audience this week. And I will not repeat everything that Angela just said, and hopefully we're not going to have 30 people saying the same thing. But after Monday night's meeting, after those words were said on the hot mic, and after people in the community saw that it had nothing to do with us stirring up the pot, it's public record. And I think the people of this town are much smarter than sometimes others give them credit for, because we all come together many times when things aren't going right, and nobody, men, women, old, young, I can't tell you how many people I've run into on the street this week and saw them stop myself or Angela or whoever, or sent messages, just appalled at, if nothing else, the behavior at the end of that meeting. So I will again, respectfully, hopefully, ask for his resignation. And I have heard him speak many times on fiscal responsibility and transparency and accountability. These are words he throws around often. If we have to do this recall, and we will, we're ready to go immediately. I don't ever want to hear him say the word fiscal responsibility ever again in this town, because his ego is going to cost this park up to $10,000 for mistakes he made, choices he made. We didn't do this. We didn't ask for this. I do not want to be here on Friday night. We got things to do. But we're here because it matters. So I do appreciate your service to our community. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. I appreciate that you're doing the best you can. And now, hopefully, regardless of what happens, you have a way to rebuild this board and do it better, and bring in new people and just change the game. So, and I'm here to support you doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Oh my gosh, I almost didn't recognize. I'm so sorry.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
April Brandon, 414 Oakland Street. I would just like to say that I appreciate this board making the hard decisions and doing the right thing. I know it's not easy to consider removing a colleague from office. I see you and appreciate what you're doing. I thank you for your support. I want you to know that you have mine, Commissioner Coster, Commissioner McBride, Commissioner Hutchins, and Commissioner Martin. Thank you for asking for Mr. Feeney's resignation. The president or chair usually sets the precedents, but tonight you're the ones holding decorum and raising the bar. You've all stuck it out on this board through so many trials over the years, and thank you all for serving in less than optimal conditions. I meant no disrespect to any of you when I left your meeting abruptly last week. I hope this is the last attempt we see at gatekeeping from men in local government. The power of the good men and the good women in this community will not be overshadowed by the violence or the microaggressions committed against us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Joanne.
I know. I'm new at this, and I can't see very well, but I can see her hair, though.
It's all good.
I mean,
Who can't? Joanna Barnes,
I love
3393 Harrington Drive. I'd like to reiterate the thank you that everybody has given to all of you. having that feedback back from all of you, the support that you get in that instance means more than you could ever imagine, especially when you've been a victim of trauma. To address Mr. Feeney's concerns about a police report, I would like him to know that a police report has been filed in regards to the incident on November 7th that was with Ms. Brandon and my husband and myself. My husband and myself both filed a police report. So he got his wish. He's asked me many times to file it. I have done so. He also made a comment at the end about we only show up when we're mad. Well, yeah, that's true. Because good government means that you guys are supposed to run without us being here. We can come to support and give our ideas and give input and volunteer, but we're not here to micromanage you. You are here to run the job. You have positions and you have guidelines and you have ordinances that you're supposed to follow. And part of them are right up here on the top where we talk about standards of behavior that promote civility at all public meetings. And as I said before, these should not only be carried into the public, but he didn't even follow these at the last meeting. He did not treat us courteously or respectfully. He did not exercise self-control. He did not keep an open mind. He did not focus on issues that avoided personalizing debate. He did not embrace respectful disagreement and dissent as democratic rights, inherent components of inclusive public process, and tools for forging sound decisions. He literally broke every single one of these in that meeting. So we're not even talking about the public instances that are on video. We're talking about what you witnessed here and the public got to witness happening in our government. So by not doing anything, we then send a message that this is okay. And so I appreciate that you have stood up and said, it is not okay. This is not how we will run government in Holly. And that we will set a precedent, that we will adhere to the standards that we put on, that it's not just a piece of paper that we put around for everybody to just read. It means something. So thank you for that, and thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlene?
Thank you. I'm Sherilyn Everly from 314 Hadley Street, and I'm just going to agree with everything they've said. But I'd like to talk more about Mr. Feeney's leadership or lack thereof that has gotten you guys to where we are tonight to hire a director. Now, I'm going to apologize to Ms. Childers because I don't know anything about you other than what you presented here Monday night. But what I do know is this. This position started out, initially it was going to be a full-time position with a part-time program coordinator. And then it turned into a maintenance contract with a part-time program coordinator. Then Monday, y'all interviewed for a program coordinator. And now you're about to hire somebody at 30 hours per week at the rate of $25 per hour, which puts us back up at about $35,000 a year, plus her teaching fees, which pretty much has us back to where we started with a full-time director. And if I was one of the people who had interviewed for that full-time director position, I would not be happy, and I would be calling the Michigan EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, because I think you have done this very wrong, nothing transparent, nothing done other than, gosh, from Monday it went from part-time to Friday, now it's full-time. You can call it weekly or you can call it hourly, but it still boils down to a pretty darn full-time job. So I just urge you to be cautious. I'm throwing up a red flag, yellow flag, or whatever it is in the football field. I think you're on pretty thin ice if someone wants to make an issue of it. Thank you, and I do appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Michelle Renard, 237 West Rose. Actually, this is more of a question than anything. Are you appointing the director tonight or a program coordinator? Because the agenda says director.
It's a
Coordinator.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that because the pay scale matches more with the director.
Anyone else? No? All right. Then I would like to move on to New business, well, I guess, motion to remove current co-chairperson from duties, which is
I'd
our
like to
first
make a
one.
motion to remove Mr. Patrick Feeney from the co-chairperson duties that he has held, acting chairperson since Mr. Miskovich left abruptly. I would like to remove him from the co-chair duties. I think we can have a vote of no confidence that will solidify the removal, and I would like to make that motion.
Support.
All right, can we get a
Yeah.
roll call vote for that?
Absolutely. Joe Hutchins,
Yes.
Donna McBride,
Yes.
Courtney Coster,
Yes.
and Kathleen Martin, yes. So at this point, then we,
All right.
we'll move on, right?
Motion
to the
carries,
next order of
yeah.
business.
All right, motion to elect new chairperson, co-chairperson, secretary, treasurer.
So it's obvious that we need one person at the helm of this
New
thing that
chair.
has the right intentions, the right demeanor, the right stuff to serve the public. I guess we could, I would like to make a motion to refill the chairperson, new chairperson position. Mr. Joe Hutchins, if you would like to step up for that, would you agree to that? Joe? I know, it's like a Groundhog Day, but
Well, my experience, I was chairperson for 13 years. I treated people with respect and dignity. And you people are our bosses, and we can't forget that. You're the bosses. We're here to represent you. So I would consider stepping up to that.
and then, in addition, Donna, how'd you like to co-chair?
Yay. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that'll, yeah.
Courtney, are you comfortable? Secretary Treasurer?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion that Joe Hutchins is the new elected chairperson of this committee, Donna McBride the co-chair, and Courtney Coster-Black the secretary treasurer.
I second that.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Can we have a roll call? Joe Hutchins,
Yes.
Courtney Coster,
Yes.
and Donna McBride,
Yes.
and I'll say yes. So, thank you guys for stepping up again and continuing to step up. I really am looking forward to the seas calming down a little bit, having a little bit more expertise and a lot more solid.
Well, despite all the ins and outs and forwards and backwards and mistakes we can make, we're still going forward. We're united as a board, and we're just going to keep going. When the going gets tough, it's tough to get going.
Does that mean we can switch now? Do you take over?
Maybe he's elected.
I don't like public
Okay.
speaking very much. Is that normal that we do that
Yeah, you
now?
can do
So
that.
treasurer know the meeting?
George, anyone? Yes?
Okay,
Ouch, I know.
ouch.
I'm ready.
Surprise. We are. You wanna make sure that gavel still works there, Joe?
I don't like using gavels. I've never used a gavel. Only once on a certain person I threw out of one of our township parks meetings, which I won't mention no
Shall
names.
remain nameless.
Yeah, but I don't like using a gavel. I like using a Nerf hammer or a real hammer on somebody. I don't use a
It
gavel.
is a little bit.
Makes, hurts my ears. Okay. Oh, man. Moving right along.
Right? Let's have a little song here.
We're going to go on to the Item number 3, motion to restart petty cash for Sorensen Park, $300.
Yeah, it came to our attention, sorting through, trying to get ready for the beach, setup and whatnot, that there was some,
Crooked.
well, I'm not gonna go crooked, I'm gonna say misunderstood,
Unauthorized?
unauthorized use, by a former chair, not this former, but the former, who decided to combine petty cash and not have receipts for everything, and in the middle of hiring, the current bookkeeper, it's not clear.
So,
There needs to be an absolute clear petty cash use, there needs to be absolute clear records of what the expenditures were, for what, when, receipts, the whole nine. I'm making a motion to go ahead and start that, petty cash reinstate. A very transparent petty cash box at Sorensen Park, and start the normal process back up.
okay, so because that was such a mess, when we hired the new bookkeeper, I brought her the petty cash box so that we could go through and figure out, because people were not leaving receipts. It was a complete mess. And I know that Tony had wanted to get it back up to 300, go through it, have it all ready for whoever took over, and then she left earlier than she thought. When she left, we didn't have a way to go buy things, and petty cash was getting used more. So it sort of became a mess because there were some receipts that were missing, and that was in no way Tony's fault at all. But so what I did was I brought the entire thing to the bookkeeper after I covered it in sticky notes that said, please leave the receipt, and like all kinds of stuff. It was a very beautiful piece of artwork as well. So as far as I know, Rachel has that. The box that is at Sorensen now is meant to take in money when people pay for things with cash.
Like baseball.
Right.
Registrations.
Right. So Rachel does have, as far as I know, unless Kurt brought it back to the Nature Center, the petty cash box with my beautiful artwork.
Okay.
And so if we're going to reinstate it, it's there, it's ready to go. It's just, the money's still in it.
Terrific. Okay, yeah, it just,
All we
things
have to
got a little
do.
bit muddy.
Right.
couple
Oh, they
days.
definitely did. They
Yeah.
definitely did. It
So we
was
wanna-
it was beyond my expertise. So that's why I took it there. It's still has the money in it that was in it, the receipts that were in it, and I wanted Rachel to go through and just basically be at least my second eyes because I didn't know, what to
Yeah.
do. I know we have to. It's not all the way full of 300 completely, so we would have to reimburse the stuff that we did buy from petty cash, which is usually, I think Tony was writing a check. I did not want to do that because I felt uncomfortable at the time writing a check to myself for petty cash. So I thought if she could deal with that, then it would be better. I did not want to do that.
That makes sense. So again, a motion to restart the petty cash for Sorensen Park at $300 to be used in accordance to, normal, transparent, usage.
I will second that.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to go ahead, sorry.
Roll call on
Yeah.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
doing that. I'm trying to get
Oh, I
both
can
at
do
the
that
same
now.
time. Okay, so Courtney, you
Yes.
seconded, and I'm asking you for your,
Yes.
approval. Okay, Donna,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kathleen, yes. Okay, so that one passes.
One explanation to the people here tonight is, this board, or the parks, is comprised of two things, administrative and legislative. We lost our administrator. So in the interim, in almost a year, we've all trying to keep this thing afloat. We're legislative, we're not administrative. We've made some mistakes. Nothing grievous yet, but we brought it all up. Some people took it upon themselves to misappropriate things which they weren't allowed to do without bringing to the board. We're finding some hitches in the get along, but we're not trained to be administrative. We're trained to be legislative. And I've always preached for years, when you have administrative, we're not administrative. We are only legislative. And the administrator can't be a legislator either. So now we're trying to rebuild our administrative end of this, and we've all taken on duties. Accounting, scheduling, programming, maintenance, everything. And hopefully we're not making too many mistakes, administrative-wise. And we're trying to stay transparent. I went today and bought a battery for the Chevy truck because it needed it, and bought some gas and got a receipt for the quad because this weekend is a tournament for our disc golf players, so they have to use that equipment. We let them use that equipment to help them get that done. So that's why I say we're not administrative, and we're going to make some mistakes because we're not used to running a parks administratively. We're used to saying, we want to go over here, administrator, and you tell us how you're going to get there, and we'll approve if that's the direction we want to see it go. So that's all our job is administrative, or not administrative, legislative. But we're mixing that in administrative, and we try to ask questions and find out what's going on. And as far as the supervisor's position and the programmer's position, a lot of this stuff was a building block of trial and error.
And timing.
Oh, jeez. And that's what we found now that we have maintenance. A lot of that supervisor's job is deleted. They don't have to mow, they don't have to help construct, they don't have to go out and clean the trails and do different things because now we have a maintenance program going on. It's an outside contractor. So that we're not going to pay somebody to sit around and be a supervisor when there's not much to do. You know, other than telling 4 people, go there, go do this, go do that, you know, which most of it's just beach work. The 4 people will be working at the beach and on trails or picking up odds and ends of things. So that's what's evolving here is, you know, when I came on back in '96, Tony Brinker was our parks director, and she was all encompassed. I mean, you know, she helped get the parks going. You know, she oversaw the construction of the nature center, a lot of things with the help of the board and of the legislators. So now we got to find what do we need? Do we need somebody like that anymore? So we're evolving into the administrative end of this whole situation. Yep, full circle. So that's why if you see us go one way, then we kind of go the other way. We're trying to figure all this out and see what our actual need is because we're supposed to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
So that's my little speech to what's going on with us guys. Whew. It's kind of like being a parent. There is with administrative, but with raising kids, there is no handbook. You know, we're trying to keep this together and keep things going. So far, things are going the right way.
Yeah, as of
So, okay.
Oh, wait. As for the petty cash, so it doesn't sound weird or anything, I did go every week because I was spending like 30-hour weeks when Tony left up at the nature center, but I get counted for every penny in that petty cash, and it should be all. It hasn't been touched, so I mean, it's not like we just let it go, but yeah.
Yeah.
at that time.
It's all in one piece anyway. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay, that was item number 3.
Yeah.
Moving on to item number 4. Motion to hire Amy Childers as program director.
Okay, I did a lot of research, and I'm sure, as a board, but I'm missing 2 or 3 members at this point, we discussed what the program coordinator would look like. I, by mistake, have used the word director instead of coordinator. So I apologize for that. However, the median, I'm looking at Indeed right here. I tried to print it out on my printer. Oh, it's been a day. My printer ate the paper. I went to the Nature Center to print it out, and the Wi-Fi there is so bad that I couldn't get it to go to the email there to go to the printer there. So, I can put into public record whatever. I'm about to tell you about Indeed and their program coordinator salary range in Michigan. The average base salary per hour in Michigan is $23.54. This was the one page that printed out from my printer before it ate the paper. The other information that I had was, and from Indeed is, I think, a very reliable resource on the internet these days. The lowest pay in Michigan would be $16.57. The highest pay goes up to $33.46, again, per hour. So in Lansing, the average is $27.78. Ypsilanti, $27.68. Traverse City, $23.56 per hour. And again, these are all program directors. In addition to that information, I'd like to share that the common benefits is what the heading says for program coordinators in Michigan are for 401k, 401k matching, 403, AD&D insurance, dental, disability, employee assistance program, employee discount, flexible schedule, among other things. Professional development assistant, referral program, tuition reimbursement, vision, like a lot of companies or organizations might offer. The reason we settled on the $25 an hour per hour up to 30 hours a week, and we did include in the job description flexible hours, which means, depending on what's going on that week, the program coordinator might be there 10 hours. They might be there 40. So, and just a base range up to 30 hours a week. I believe is not considered full-time. I believe 40 hours a week is considered full-time. In addition, no insurance, no perks, no, 401k, nothing else, disability. None of those were offered to this position. So the range, again, being $16 to $33 an hour. And, and it says to start. Right here on the agenda, to start. If we see that we're using a lot less hours, so be it. If we see that there's a lot more work to do and a lot more progress being made, such as, the great programs that I'm expecting, again, to start. It's a place to start. And so with that, we did take a vote. Some people have asked about the vote, and I'm not really sure. Courtney, did you have something to say about the process?
People were concerned about it being a blind vote, and I did say we weren't hired.
The ballots.
Right.
Okay.
And
well, at
right.
this time, I'd like to go ahead and offer the public to see the ballots. We had 2 candidates, and we had 5 people at that time voting. This first one here. And I think if anybody was here, they'll recognize the paper that we took the ballots on. Amy Childers, Amy Childers, Amy Childers, Amy Childers, and then there was one for Ms. Stevens, the last candidate that we interviewed. Clearly, there was a majority vote here. With that, is that what you're talking about? Like the ability for the people to see the ballots?
I believe so, yep.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna leave those here if anybody wants to come by and see. Kind of old school way to do it, but.
I think,
I even put my name on it, so
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
who I voted
You
for.
can tell that the writing is different, the handwriting is different. So with
think
that,
everyone will go like crazy
is there any more
handwriting.
discussion on hiring Ms. Childers and the rate? Anything else we need to discuss?
Will this be a contract or no? I know people had asked
Yeah.
about that in the past for other people, so will there be a contract?
Right, like a
contract.
subcontractor is what you're saying?
No, like a contract for employment. I didn't know if that was like a contracted position.
I think she'd be considered an at-will employee.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Now,
I had curiosity.
when she does yoga, she's a contractor.
Right, because that's an additional service too, that it's not.
It's
Under
not, she's
her-
not an employee
Right.
of the parks. She's a subcontractor, just like the maintenance guy is a contractor.
Right. So does that answer your question, Courtney? I don't know
Yes.
if it's clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to offer someone a contract. I just didn't know if that was
Okay.
what we were doing on the table.
I think more or less her job description is what we're looking at
Right,
as far as
Sure.
a contract goes. She's to do this, to do that,
right, the expectations
but she's still
are
an
set.
at-will employee.
Yes, okay. So now at this point then I'd like to make a motion to hire Ms. Amy Childers as program coordinator, clearly coordinator, at the rate of $25 per hour to start, up to 30 hours a week, depending on the need that week, and keeping her hourly rate separate from her teaching compensation.
Also, flex hours.
Right, that's why I said up to
Yeah.
40 hours. Okay, flex hours, we can say the words. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
All right. Roll call?
Okay, Courtney,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Kathleen. So, is it appropriate now to have Ms. Childers presented? Should you come up and?
Yes.
I'd like to
Recognize-
present to you.
Amy has been running the yoga program and she's actually been
Where do you want me to be presented?
right here. So Amy's been running the yoga program, which is hugely successful. I think last time we had a wait list, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah, it's
And-
going pretty good.
And she's been trying to get this started and really kind of just kept knocking. It was one of those situations where she kept knocking, kept knocking.
That's right.
kept knocking.
I applied for this job about 7 years ago. So I've been trying for a while, but I just kept teaching yoga and waiting, and so now I have an opportunity, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I wanted to clarify, if I could, I don't get paid to teach yoga. I bring in money, and then I get a percentage of it. So I actually make money for the parks doing the program. Well, that's okay. And I wanted to say to everyone else, whatever your talents are, whatever your skills are, hit us up, because that's what I want to do. I want to build a community of people who share their skills with others. So, and then you can make a little money, and the parks can make some more money, and we can get to know each other, and I'm excited about it. So thank you,
Yeah, thank
and
you,
I
Amy.
hope that I earn
Amy's
everyone's
really
trust.
stepped up and been helping even with the Frisbee golf course and stuff like that. She's very, very.
Standing in the
impressed.
rain for hours.
It wasn't too bad. Okay, this is what I'll say about being in the rain for hours. Children love it, right? They don't mind. And so if I have an opportunity to go out and hang out with people and do something fun and then get pizza afterwards, it wasn't too bad. So yeah, does anyone have any, want to ask me any questions while I'm here?
I have a
Yeah,
request.
sure.
Could you do like a morning, ladies golf instruction, frisbee
Well,
golf instruction?
I can't, but I hope
But
someone can,
somebody
right?
from
Like,
the frisbee
Yeah.
golf-
yeah,
for
absolutely,
sure. Not
absolutely.
arrange
Yep.
in place to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
appointments
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, because it's fun and it's free,
I
and it
think
gets you
that'd be a
outside.
great idea.
Yeah, I've only played a couple times, but I had fun.
Our new commissioner, by the way, is responsible for putting in this course. So when the next meeting and when he's here, get
I'm
him.
sure you know
Alright.
someone that
Yeah.
can help
Definitely.
I wanna learn.
lead
And
that.
one of the things I really want to do, and maybe it won't be a lot of things, we'll have to work it out, but I'd like to offer a couple of free programs to start, just to, let people know that we're here. And I want to do like a kids nature craft and hike and various other stuff. So while I'm there hourly, I'll be working on grants, I'll be working on programs, I'll be coordinating, but I'll also be offering a few things that I do. I'm a visual artist, so I'd like to do some art classes. And then the yoga, like I said, is separate. Like that's something that that already makes a little money for the parks. So
Welcome, Amy.
Yeah,
I'm so
thank you.
excited.
Welcome aboard, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for the positive attitude.
yeah, I'm
It's
really
Always,
contagious.
always.
I'm super enthusiastic. I mean, I hope that we can come together. I love this town, and I really think that we can do some cool stuff.
Oh, yeah,
So-
we forgot to say you're a village person.
Yes,
Yeah, she lives in the
I-
village.
I do live in the village. I mean, I'm always walking my dogs.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, thank you all
Thanks,
so much.
Amy.
Thank you. Oh. Okay, we're going to move on to item 5, public comments. Members of the public can address the board. Once recognized by the chairperson, comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. The board may extend this time to additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing the board, members of the public are requested to clearly state their name and address for the record. Yes.
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. I'd like to make a very open recommendation. One of the best things that happened to Holly Township Library is our director, Greg. And we created kind of a living legacy with some documentation to help keep us on track in case all of the seats were to flip, because that's what happened the year that we were all elected. So we were all brand new. The director was brand new. So talk about not knowing what you're doing. I feel you. I feel you. I do. So with our director, we were very fortunate. He's got a good connection to a lawyer that we talk to when we need to. He's got admin capabilities, down pat, library experience, and all those things. But he was also really familiar with Robert's rules, which was great for us. So if there's somewhere that you can find space, whether it's for a person, because your seats are going to flip in the future. You won't all be here for forever. So you've been through several chairs and co-chairs and the director issue and all those things. And if everything flips it all at once again, now what? So that's just something I wanted to put out there. There's a million ways to do it, and I wish you guys all the best luck.
One comment on our board elected officials. The village council is a split board, so you don't end up with all new people. We all get voted on at the same time, so we could either all go, or all stay, or, Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about the board is there's nobody,
Interim.
I wonder
you
if
know,
there's
that's
any way
gonna
to switch
carry
that
over.
so it's
It's just
about half
here
and
today and
half.
gone tomorrow.
Because that'd make more sense.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Anybody else for public comment?
I have a general question.
Just hold on a second. This gentleman back here.
Hi everyone, Jonathan Lounger, 408 East Sherman. Last month, actually a few months ago, Holly Township Parks went on a hunt for a new logo.
Yes.
Which was supposed to be discussed on the March 8th meeting, but got canceled. And then I believe was discussed on the March 16th meeting at Sorensen. I have messaged the Holly Township Parks and Board a few times about it, and they would refer me to the YouTube videos, which I've watched. I have not seen anything. So I was just wondering if that would be made public on your Facebook page, or...
Yeah, it absolutely will, and I will answer this, although I hope I'm doing it appropriately. The logo was decided on at a meeting, and it was here.
Yeah.
It was held
Yeah,
here.
it was here.
I don't know, is Josh here? Josh, remember when I walked it right up to the camera and put it right in the
Okay,
camera?
that's my bad.
So it was,
No, you didn't.
it was shown on the camera. I wanted to, as usual, be as transparent as possible. But I do, I'm gonna go through real quick now, and I know that, we have a little speed bump here. One of the things that Mr. Feeney was working on was having the logo reworked to the, printable, the standard form that we would need to make new signs and everything else that we're doing. And again, like I said, speed bump. So, the one that we decided on was number 5 here. And, it needed to be tweaked. It was just somebody's computer submission. So it needed to be, just reworked, the wording, more clear, maybe put a little bit more color in it. I'd like to show you guys in case anybody else was wondering
That was all.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
You too.
This one right here. Trying to think of what kind of shirt that would fit this. It's this one right here. Golf shirt. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was the March 16th meeting.
The March 16th,
Yeah.
that's what I thought it was. So here's the new logo. And, well, it's gonna be worked on. I can promise you that much. I don't know where the other process was, but this is the new logo.
They having reworked that?
Hmm?
Do you know who is having reworked that?
I think. That was one of the things that ex-chairperson Feeney was working on. It was hard to see on the camera. Wasn't hard to see.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
can't
it's
hear
not
you.
very clear. It wasn't a great printout.
It's hard to rework something to make it doable sometimes. Oh, Kristen.
I think we had two.
Oh,
I'm short. I'm a short girl problem.
Kristen Watt, 102 South First Street, Apartment 3. Short but fierce. I just want to give you a suggestion. Use it how you want, because you just mentioned this. You didn't quite know where that was in getting it pixelated and stuff to get it for print for signs. We have an amazing resource right here, keeping it local, who could fix that for you in 2 minutes. Paul Harrington. He's actually on our council now, but all of the senior, like if you see the seniors, like signs that are in all these yards and stuff, he does all that. And he does it for, I think, the chamber and like, I don't know. He's just it's not his company, he works for a company, but he does a lot of, in fact, I would say most in a lot of our local restaurants. Maruka's Kitchen, he did them when I had my store. Battle Alley Brewery, like you can see his work. So you literally could just send this to him and he will do all of it and send it back to you. And be careful, if you order a sign from him, it will show up on your driveway the next morning. Like he is that quick. So, and it's very affordable and it's a local company. So if you ever need resources, just who do we need to call for a million things until you get your administrative stuff worked out? Every person in this room knows somebody who does something around here and get it in quickly and affordably. But if you're looking to get that moving, if you don't have someone already, I would highly recommend him as a reference. Well, like if we're going to get it professional and get things done, hire professional people to do professional work and get it done quickly. So
Is it Calypso?
no,
No.
I mean, and no offense to Calypso,
I knew
I'm
that
talking
was like
about
a
sign.
global-
It just
Yeah.
you call him, he fixes it, he shows up with your stuff, you pay the bill, you don't hear from him again. It's that simple. So anyway.
Gotta call in the fixer.
Thank
He
you
did
very
not
much.
pay me to come up here and say that, by the way. Just
No, but I have seen the signs and whatnot, and they are very nice.
Roberta Pachota, 213 Michigan 6th Street. I have a couple of questions, actually. I looked at our budget that was presented. I see that we're putting $300 now in petty cash. But what I don't see is, are we opening the beach on time? Is the maintenance done? Have we ordered the sand? Have we scrubbed the floaty things? Because I don't see any money for any of that anywhere in anything. And I've looked. I've looked.
It'll be on there. It'll be open on time. I mean,
I don't know if
sorry.
it's now Amy's job to coordinate all these people. Well, I mean,
the beach will be open when the school closes.
like always, yeah.
And we have some young people going to be working down there. And we have maintenance is going to go in and rake everything, clean up all the sticks, so I don't have to. And then I'm going to turn the water on because I'm the engineer, the water engineer down there, and start up the bathhouses and stuff like that. But
and are we having lifeguards or concessions
No,
or
we're
tags
not
this
having
year?
lifeguards.
Nothing? It's just open?
It's
Well,
just
no.
like we did last year.
At this
Yeah.
point, the concessions will be limited. We will have the same hours unless discussion is made, depending on the scheduling, which days the beach will be open, but you can pretty much blueprint from.
So that we won't be running the pavilions either this year again?
We-
It
They're
depends on the rain. Unfortunately, the, things being what they are down in the beach right now, about half of the pavilion has been underwater at this time of the year. So it's really a touch and go kind of thing to see if it will be usable and viable. But what we
Okay.
have had discussion on is whether or not to.
So is it Amy's job then to lock and unlock the gate? Whose job is this gonna be?
The people
The
that
kids
are
that
running
work
the
there.
beach,
Okay.
the people that will be there from the, open to close. will do that kind of thing. We have discussed recently whether or not to rent out the pavilion or just charge our residents a deposit kind of thing.
Right.
Because, you know, it does need work, admittedly. Unfortunately, there was a couple other bumps.
Thanks.
They had to crawl over first.
Well, last year
I
in
thought we
June, you
voted
remember
on the-
Detroit was underwater for 2 weeks, and we were underwater for 2 weeks up here.
Yeah.
But that's why, well, we didn't rent it out right away. And our beach supervisors will be of age, 18 years or older. They'll be locking and unlocking the place. And last year we ran no Wednesdays,
Yeah.
and the empty hours were like from 10 till 7 or noon till 7 or 8, because we did a head count of who was there, how many people there during different hours of the day, so we could balance out our beach staff. And there'll be no swimming on the deep end. The ropes will only go out to the shallow end, and no lifeguards.
Appropriately signed, obviously.
I'm Sherilyn Everly from 314 Hadley Street, and I just want to remind you, in case you've forgotten, that the Drain Commission controls the in and out there of the water from Bush Lake.
The weir.
Yeah.
The weir.
Okay. Just, I don't know if the flooding's because they're not doing their job or
No.
it's just too much water overall, but I don't even want to discuss it because it's bigger than me. What I do want to say is this. Thinking about the beach long term. I grew up going to the beach. I grew up my beach tag, my 50 cents for my hot dog, and I went down there and spent the day. And I have been puzzling and puzzling and puzzling why our beach doesn't have that same allure. Well, here we are, 50 plus years later, and it's back then, it was the only game in town. We didn't have a Seven Lakes State Park. We didn't have a Woe Zone. We didn't have Holly Rec. We didn't have Groveland. We didn't have all of these other options. So while I think it's nice to have our beach open for everybody and have it be free, we used to pay a family fee to go to the beach. And I would urge you to think long term that maybe what we want to be is the best, safest beach around, that we charge people to use it so it becomes the place where you know there'll be a lifeguard, because that's not the case in all these other places. Maybe we only run it 5 days a week for those people that pay, and then it's open on the weekends. But it should be the damn best beach in a 20-mile radius, because there's a lot of competition out there. And if we continue to do stuff like Angela told me about, that sorry, we can't change the light bulbs and your girls are going to have to change their clothes with the door propped open, bullshit. That is the least we should be able to do for these kids. But I urge you to think big. Think about what we can do that sets Holly Beach apart from all the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Everly, I can tell you that in the past 2 years, we've really struggled finding lifeguards. Part of it is, the certification.
Well, I'm just going to say to Kathleen, when I was growing up, we had a teacher, and during the summer, his job was to teach kids to be lifeguards.
Okay.
And so I know there's a lifeguard shortage, but nobody's training lifeguards. So why don't we put on the thinking cap and become that place? And my friend Barb and I were comparing notes. We couldn't go to the beach by ourselves till we had passed advanced beginners, because that was just part of the course of growing up in Holly. And it would be nice if we could do that again, even if it was on a small scale to start.
That's one comment on that also, is with Oakland County Parks. The splash pad and everything else was shut down for quite a few days during the week because they don't have enough lifeguards. And they're paying $20, $25 an hour for a lifeguard.
I think
Wow.
Tony was teaching lifeguards.
Yes,
I mean,
she
she was
was.
certified to do
She's
that,
certified
and still
Red
couldn't
Cross.
find the
Certified, yeah.
lifeguards that year.
Yeah.
Must have
So
been
there
last
would be
year.
that extra expense incurred to train.
Well, sure.
Usually on the average for what usually Red Cross lifeguard instructors charge is $150 to get your certification.
Right.
So, how many young people have $150 or whatever, or if we supplement it. And that's what we used to do too, is we used to supplement it,
No,
you know, our
we
teaching.
weren't charging to train lifeguards, were we?
Not under.
Not the
No.
ones that.
Not with
Okay,
Tony was,
okay.
yeah.
But if somebody
Oh,
else
so
wanted
like
their
that'd be
lifeguards
crazy.
trained,
Okay.
that was what the fee was,
Right,
yeah.
yeah, so, thank you, Cheryl.
Just a little about the beach. I've been here about 100 years too, so the beach was meant a whole lot to me too. In fact, I was probably one of the real reasons that we don't open until after school starts now, because I would skip the last 2 classes and go to the beach. Sorry, Mom. I'd also like to see lifeguards put on so we can get back out there to the deep end,
Yeah,
and
me too.
that's one of the things that's going in my mind of trying to get going again. So.
Yep, agreed.
Anybody else to have public comment? Yes, sir.
Bill Necessa, 5100 East Holly Road. Good evening.
Hi.
Speaking of thinking big, just want to put an idea out there, and it may not be a new idea, but to me it's new. Why not take a look, especially with the new director coming in, program director, take a look at tying in all these great state parks that we have all around us. I get they're not all in the township boundaries, but they are part of our greater community. Why not think regionally, try to tie these together with greenways, and then bring some of those trails into the township, into the village. But, you know, again, connecting these parks, 3 parks, state parks that ring us, and I get it, can't do it alone, but regionally, working with the state, maybe getting some grants, and also thinking about, so playing those up, leveraging those outside for tourism, but then also bringing folks into the community. So I just think it's an idea we're exploring. I think there are green belts in the master plan for the village, but I'm not sure how specific they are to tying together those state parks and then connecting them up with the township.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's got to fix the?
Mike, yeah.
Yeah, it just died. I was listening and it died.
It's all right. He's efficient. He just ran in like he was like
I've been
Superman.
content
skip
being
school.
quieter. Joanna Barnes, 3393 Harrington Drive. Actually, 2 comments now. To Mr. DeSessa's, I do know that when they built our subdivision, Mill Point, and they talked about extending it to Grange Hall and Fish Lake, and there's some talk about that. That part of that talk was that they were going to extend trails from 7 Lakes to those subdivisions and then extend them then into the other subdivisions and then hopefully connect that to the village. I'm not sure where all that is in the master plan and all that, and certainly not sure where that is when what happened with that developer. And now he's now developing again. So we're all very trepidatious. So big ideas and dreams, not sure if the right person is in charge that's going to enact it. That being said, tonight, forgive me because I'm kind of new to some of these processes. And people in the camera or in the video at home may not understand what happened here tonight. So if you could just let us know, I understand you did a vote of no confidence. Is that the same as a censure? And if it is not, why did you choose not to censure him? And if you have not chosen to, is that something that you are going to choose to do if he chooses to remain on this board? Because as we've said, him choosing to remain on this board, it puts a roadblock right in. All of us are going to be here every meeting like, he should resign, he should resign, he should resign. It's going to constantly put a gum in the stops, and it's going to constantly make all of us in the community feel unsafe. So we appreciate the no confidence, but it would go a step further for all of you to say, not only is it a no confidence, but we actually censure you on that. This is not acceptable behavior, so that sets a precedent going forward for future board members as well, and possibly for other townships, for other entities in our township and in our villages. You know, you guys could be setting the standard there that we want to see with our ethics committee that's been set. We would like to continue the same tone all the way across. So that's just something I urge you to do, is to really strongly think about
censuring him if he chooses to stay on this Parks Board. So, thank you very much.
From what I understand, we've done a little bit of checking in on this. We have to have a ethics committee, and we don't have an ethics committee. So all we, pardon?
That'd be my next step then, if I were you.
Well, we don't have an ethics, yeah. We can see if we have to set one up or what we have to do to that. So all we can do right now is to give him a vote of no confidence.
And remove his chair,
Right,
which is what we.
yeah. So that's, right now, that's the best we can do. We took him off his chairmanship, co-chairmanship, and we gave him a vote of no confidence. That's the best we can do so far. And if we look at things, we change our rules as we grow. Because, everything was pretty lax 20, 30 years ago. And as we find things and what the governments and everybody else has to do, as far as ethics and everything else, we put that into our rule book. So we update it at all times to be constant with everybody else. So we'll be looking into censurings. It's an education for us, so.
Yeah.
But that's the best we can do right now as far as, because we don't want to overstep our bounds.
Yep.
So we're still working on it. Anybody else? Yes.
Michelle Renard, 237 West Rose. A couple things, just as a parent, from what I didn't see what Mr. Feeney did, but I've seen his behavior here. As a parent, I would not be comfortable going out to those parks alone with my kids, knowing he's a loose cannon, more or less. Just putting that out there. I do have a couple questions. So on Monday, the job description, the pay scale, the hours for the coordinator position were different than what they are today, than what's on the agenda. I'd like to know when and what meeting were those changes discussed. Because I've been at the last couple and I don't remember hearing any of that.
I think that in the job description is where we initially had set, the expectations and whatnot like that. I don't believe that there was any other formal discussion on the.
When you guys were working on the budgets, there was talk of pay when you discussed doing the supervisor at 30,000. The coordinator was, I think, at 15, 17. I'll have to go back and look at my notes.
Okay.
That was, I believe, prior to March 16th. So, I mean, there's just a really big discrepancy. So I'm just, with the Open Meetings Act, when was that change made? Is what I'm curious.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, if you can just let me know. Everybody's got my contacts. So.
Yep, thank you.
Anybody else for public comment?
The position I applied for was the pay scale between $20 and $25 an hour, and the hours were 20 to 25 hours per week as well. So my understanding is the 30 hours per week is the max, like you couldn't work more than that. But
that's not what they had originally voted on, is what I'm
okay,
saying.
and I
So
wasn't
when
at
was
that
that
meeting or
changed?
saw
I
that.
was.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I applied for the position and it looks the same to me. Like I don't see what the, I guess I'm just confused.
When their vote, it has nothing to really do with you necessarily, but when did the original vote that they took, when did that change?
I don't want to
Okay.
remove it, y'all should not be talking to
Okay.
each
Yeah.
other in the audience.
Okay, sorry. Maybe we can talk afterwards. Okay, well, all right,
You think?
thanks.
Anybody else for public comment? Angela?
Angela Wallace, 709 Baird Street. Just because Sherilyn did bring it up, and I want to clarify some things and make the board aware of what happened and the reason why my children were not at the beach last year or half of the year before. because we were told that those bathroom doors had to stay open and that there would be no electricity in those bathrooms, per Miss Tony Brinker. And because we could not afford, honest to God, go look at your notes, because we couldn't afford the light bulbs or the electricity to those two bathrooms. So my question with that being, I guess, is that my daughters were changing with the doors open with a gentleman who was conveniently laying in front of the bathroom doors with the bathroom doors open so that he could look right in and see the little girls that were changing their clothing. And nothing was done. A formal complaint was made to Miss Brinker. She did not think that that was any big concern because he was sunbathing. Okay. So my children did not go. I just want to make a clarification that there will be electricity in those bathrooms at all time. Those doors are able to be shut. And there will be some sort of privacy afforded to the beachgoers of both genders. So thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Hutchins, there was sustained electricity last year, was there not?
Yes. I went through and changed all the light bulbs over to LEDs outside and inside the pavilions and the bathrooms.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And all the doors are, the bathroom doors are equipped, the inside bathroom doors are private, the stalls are private. Two in the ladies' bathroom, one in the men's bathroom.
I really thought I used the restroom and it shut last year.
So,
That scared me.
thank you. By the way, Angela, I had no idea.
Yes, thank you for your
I had no idea. I know, and I've seen, we can open up a discussion on this at a later time, but
Yeah.
I know I've seen walls, a short wall erected next to a bathroom door and things like this that would solve that problem. So, maybe we can look into that if the door needs to be propped open for ventilation probably or something else.
Oh.
We could look into setting up a partition
Yeah.
outside the door that would not allow people to
Yeah.
see indirectly.
Right, directly in, yeah.
Yeah, that might be one option. I'd like to see that happen, so we can.
We'll note that.
I did.
Beach improvement.
I did.
Okay, anybody else for comment? Well, seeing none, we'll move on to item 6, Commissioner's remarks. Kathleen?
Believe it or not, I don't have a whole lot to say. I just want to thank you guys for, again, supporting us. I want to thank you for your questions, Michelle, and you guys just keep coming through this process with us. Still not comfortable, still not, just looking forward to having the board filled again, the seats filled again. Going forward, that should be able to be happening more quickly. The submissions are still open now because we really started a 45-day
For the second replacement.
for the second replacement. So if anybody's out there that still wants to jump on board, we would welcome anybody else stepping up. Again, all I can keep focusing on is the future and trying to, continue to do the best, most transparent job that we have always tried to do with you guys' support and comments and input. We used to have this, we would hold these meetings and it'd be half an hour to an hour long with maybe one person sitting in the audience. And I'm not going to say this is a comfortable way to get an audience, but I do appreciate people still showing up and caring about what's going on here, what's going on with us, what's going on in the parks, because this is what we always wanted. Maybe not for this reason, but we do want the input and we do want the public involvement. So thank you for that. Don't think there's anything else that I wanted to talk about or needed to talk about. At this point, I'm just excited for the chair being filled. I'm excited for our program coordinator. To be coordinator, not to be confused. On board, again, future. I'm just very excited for the future, very excited for the parks. Sherilyn, I've had many discussions. I didn't grow up here, but I've had many discussions of the resources that we could have down the beach, especially. We have shuffleboard courts. They need to be used. I want to see, you guys, you're going to think this is crazy. I want to see hula hoop tournaments. I want to see, old-fashioned family, game nights. I want to see these things happening. It's been difficult, as I stated in my last comments. What was it, Monday night? The process is slow, and even to get things that you would think were very basic approved or find funding for in that, it's painfully slow.
And we gotta give you guys credit. You're coming out of 2 years of COVID, then you pretty much been in flux here for almost a year.
Flux is a kind word.
So, and then this latest upheaval of this person doesn't make it any easier.
Indeed, and I appreciate that feedback. Thank you for seeing us. But we're not going anywhere. We are not, we're not pushable. So, thank you again, guys. I appreciate the continued support, and don't forget about us when this is all over and done, okay? Because it'll be soon. It'll be soon. Anna?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for showing up and all your support all week long. I've had people call me and support me, and I feel really good about that. It's been a really tough year, but we just keep trying to take steps forward, being pushed backwards by people who give us half-truths and think they act like they're trying to help us, but haven't been. If anything, I'm too truthful. There's things you guys aren't gonna like to. First of all, I talked to Feeney, and Mr. Feeney, you told me you would not do anything to this board to hurt it anymore, and here you go lying again. You need to get off this board. You need to just go. It's just, this is enough. I don't know what this stance is all about. I don't know what you think you're proving, but you need to just go. You're not welcome here. I want to see this board get back on track again. The Frisbee golf course is going really well. We're having like I said, this course hasn't cost the taxpayers anything. This band that's now on our board, thank you, David, has done tournaments, has gone out, got sponsorships, has just got volunteers. I've never seen so many. The energy in the room when he's in there and talking about this is just amazing. And tomorrow I'm going to spend my day putting together, going to the nature center and setting up for Frisbees. We're selling there. We're going to get this started again instead of just letting it sit there. And people have been asking about it, but nobody knew if anybody was selling it. I'm going in there and I'm going to set it all up so that these things can be sold. The course is going to pretty much take care of itself with tournaments, and then we're going to get in on it and we're going to throw tournaments. And so that's where, again, we're going to be making money. This thing is making money for the parks. And I have fought for this since I got on this board, and I'll be darned that I'm going to see this go down because of liars and cheats and thieves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Courtney.
First of all, I didn't know if it was possible that you could put synchrony on the agenda for next month, or if you need help with the agenda, then I can, I think I have a either me or Kathleen, even though you're a little busy too, but yeah.
Full-time jobs, I can do it.
Yeah, I can help.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a big one because I need to close that account out. It's good to see a room full of people, and I'm really sorry it's for the wrong kind of attention. It's it's hard to believe when you work with someone all the time that they're capable of behaving that way. I don't think that everything he did as far as being on the board, he did a lot of good on the board, but I think we have to really put our foot down and say this is not okay. We can't have this. Again, I'm really sorry to everyone that was affected that either got yelled at or berated or physically touched, I guess. I don't think there are words for that, but thank you all for being here. And thank my board members, because you guys have been troopers.
Well, I guess I got a little bit to say. First thing is, even though I'm not on the electronic media, I received a lot of phone calls, people showing support for what we're doing and what Mr. Feeney did, the negatives. So I did receive a lot of phone calls. I'd like to thank all of you here tonight for your guidance. You're guiding us. We really appreciate it because we're hearing positives. You guys want us to keep going, want us to keep things going. So thank you for your guidance. The third thing is to Mr. Feeney, Pat, do the right thing. You know, at least try to go out with one positive. Resign. Don't hurt us, because all you're doing is hurting yourself. So be a man, resign. So we're just going to keep going, folks. We're just going to keep plugging away, and hopefully there's no more hitches in the get along. We got to still fill up one board member, and positives are positives. Yep, we're here and we're going.
Mr. Hutchins, can I say something on behalf of DBA?
Yes.
Okay. Josh Murphy, 103 Battle Alley. September 11th is going to be the holidays, and if any of you know, I'm starting to get band members together or bands together. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know.
Okay.
I'm trying to, yeah.
Maybe we can get a little frisbee golf set up.
That would be cool too. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
usually
That'd be
participate
awesome.
in holidays. The Township Parks does.
What's that? Yeah.
Yeah. That and Halloween too, and stuff
and
like
Halloween, that's coming up too.
We're on
my thing
Don't
right
say
now is
that yet.
holidays. So
that. Yeah,
We haven't
one
been
at a
through
time.
summer.
yeah, one at a time.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Okay. Well, hearing no more comments,
What'd you
anybody have any
say?
more comments? We will adjourn this meeting at
7:23, Joe.
7:23. Good night, folks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Now I heard my name.
Now